And here I have my reference image, which is a smoothie image. So you hold down your Alt key while you drag so that you maintain the proportion of your image. Click OK when done. Next thing we have to do is replace the second reference image. I've been saying reference. Does it really mean reference? Well, I think it's our background image. That should be our background image. Yes, this is the second one. So now we have to blend the image in such a way that it gives us something we want, like something blending with the background, like with the smoothie image. Here is our text. Next, we have our second text. Now I want to make the text wider. So by doing that, we increase the wideness. We're done with this. So now I want to place another background, like before we add the name text of the body, I want to place a background, which is this. You hold your Alt while you drag to maintain the proportion. Now we change the blend mode. You can actually play around with these blend modes to find something suitable for you, but I prefer to go with this. You can press Ctrl and minus on your keyboard to reduce the size of your screen, which you see I did there. Ctrl minus. Ctrl 0 to return to the normal size. Ctrl 0. So now what I'm doing is I just created a layer mask. I want to get rid of the parts that I don't want, which I will use my brush tool, as you can see. So I'm using black to clear the ones I don't want. So when you're using the layer mask, black means to hide, but if you want to gain back what you've hidden, you use white. So we are using black to get rid of the parts that we don't want. So we're done with that. So I'm moving it around to position it to where I actually want. Now I grab my text tool. Change my text size. Actually this size is too big, so we're going to reduce it to something smaller. Change the color to something darker since our background is a little bit light. So now I want our text to be a little bit together. We reduce the text size. That's okay with that. Next, we are going to have our main text, which is going to be the smoothie. So you press Ctrl A to select all your text, then you increase the size. Actually, this is not the text I'm going to be using for the smoothie, and I want the two O's to be together, so I'll select all again, then reduce the paragraph or the space, or what do we call that? So this is the text I'm going to be using. So I want the smoothie, the smooth and the D to be like together, so I'm going to reduce the spacing between them. Yep, I think this is okay. Ctrl A to select. Then I want to change the color of my smoothie. Well, this is not the color I'm going to be using because the color is looking like our background. So what I'll do is go to my layer. Okay, I actually duplicated my background. As you can see, I have a copy. I did that by pressing Ctrl J, and I changed the blend mode. So now I'm trying to clean off the areas I don't want. Remember, dark or black is to remove, is to hide, and you use white to reveal. So as you can see, I changed between the black and the white. You can actually do that by pressing X on your keyboard to switch between them. So I'm just playing around to get a little bit of something, you know. You can actually play around with your background till you get what you want, but this is what I want to do. I want to make those edges kind of dark. So now I'm changing my smoothie color. By doing that, I'll double click on my text layer, which gives me this box, this other box. Then next I'll go to my gradient overlay. I'll click on the drop down, the blue, click on the drop down, then I'll select the color that I want. So this is my color, and I want to change the angle. I want the darker part of the color to be to my left, while the lighter ones are to the right. You can actually play around with your colors to see and get what you want. If you don't want blue, you can use any other color, but I prefer to go with the blue. Then I add a drop shadow for my text to have a little bit of weight. As you can see, the drop shadow adds a little bit of weight to the text. You can play around till you get what you want. So depending on your lighting, you choose the distance or the direction of your shadow. Still trying to find what I want. Playing around with the color. So I actually went for a lighter color instead of the dark one to blend with my background. So I want to change my Thursday. I've decided to change my mind. Instead of Thursday, I want to go for bachelor. I want to go for bachelor, and I'm going to be changing the text as well. I'm using another text instead of this one. Yeah, I thought of Sunday, but Sunday won't go. I don't want to use days. I want to use something different. Yeah, we'll still come back to that. As you can see, my E there is not actually rhyming with my other text. So I had to select all and redo it again. So in some cases when you are designing, you have to be careful and you have to be paying attention to your text, because some might not be the same with the other ones. Maybe the time you are selecting. So there you have it, my text. They are all looking good. Trying to change the spacing between them. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. So I decided to change the color of my Sunday, which I'm still going to change the word Sunday actually, but I want to go for a color that is more like the background. I select my Sunday, I select my smoothie, I hold control while I drag them, because if you don't hold control while dragging, you might drag something else that you don't want to drag. So you hold control while dragging your selected layers. So I haven't changed my Sunday yet, but don't worry, we will still get to that. Just putting in anticipation. So now what I'm about to do now is the address. Oh, sorry, not the address. So this is going to be like bachelor smoothie bration. So instead of using celebration, I decided to go for bration because the celebration is kind of long, but you can be creative in your design. You can decide to use something different. So I decided to go for bration instead of celebration. I changed my text to white. I pull my bration above the smoothie so that it won't be hiding under the smoothie. We have our bration above on top of the smoothie. Yes, this is my address now. So finally, this is my address. So this is like a frictional design. It's not actually real. So the address I'm using is just based on what I have in mind, like right now. Not like I had it prepared before, but I'm just using what I have in mind right now. Odogo suits Joss, so that's what I came up with. Is this suit or is this sweet? Because this English is kind of hard. Please, if you can tell me the correct pronunciation, kindly send me a voice note. I'll be glad to hear it. Still on the address. So in the beginning of the video I said, alright guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. That's a joke my sister used to make. Like anytime she wants to do something, she will be like, alright guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So since I'm doing this video, I just decided to like use it, and yeah, that's it. So we change our text size. So I want to shift some of the text down, so I'll go to where I want it to be. I'll press enter for the text to come down. Then I'll reduce the size as well. Then I'm going to align the text to the center. So I'll align it to the center. That is it. Yes, this is me changing my Sunday. I told you guys I was going to use bachelor, so I'm changing my Sunday to bachelor. So like this party is actually for bachelors, like bachelors guys who will just come. The guys actually take smoothies because I think smoothies is mainly for ladies. Ladies love smoothies, but you wouldn't know. I think guys too will love smoothies. Probably 10% of guys. But remember, this is just a frictional design. It's not real. Who knows? Somebody might like it and decide to go for it and make it a real one. So I'm trying to change the color for the smoothie. trying to blend it with the background. So let me give it English, and I went for the orangish, oh yes, orange type of color for the bachelor. So now what I want to do is my time, or yes, the time. I'll say the time, the date together, the time, the date. That's what I'm doing right now, as you can see. So it will be holding on Tuesday, 10 p.m. Let's change the color to white. So this is me trying to find where I want to place my date and time, but I think I want it at the initial place I pasted it. But the reason why it's not like showing there is because our background is a light color and our text is also light. So if you dip white into white, they are all going to be white, right? So we have a solution for that. But first, I want to create a rectangle within, or a rectangle as a border for my date and time. So I thought of putting the rectangle below the text so that our white is going to appear well, and I aligned them horizontally and vertically so that they will be aligned. Then I took it back to where I wanted it to be, but I changed my mind. I removed the background. I want the stroke and change the thickness to 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a drop shadow for my text so that it's going to show despite of we having a light background. So I double clicked on my text layer, then we have our box, our drop box. We go to the shadow. You play around with the shadow like I said the other time, so you get what you want. But if you want to have the same thing as mine, you can follow the steps, see the numbers for the size, for the distance, for the spread, the angle, the opacity, and everything. You can follow my steps and you will have it the way it is. So this is all I finalized on. So remember to hold Control while dragging or while moving your selected text or selected layer in order not to drag something else. And so I want to reduce the gap or the space between the text. So I play around with the sizes till I got something perfect that I want. Yeah, this is okay for me. So I drag my text down, and then I resized my rectangle. So I have my rectangle layer selected. So to have two layers selected, or two layers selected, you hold control while clicking on the other one so that two of them will be selected. Then you align or you move accordingly the way you want it. So next thing I'll be doing is the activities that will also take place that day. So here we have our side attraction. As you can see, I'm using a smaller text, so it's kind of hard to see, but that is the side attraction. So we'll be having different side attractions. We'll be having games, dance, and actually we'll be having ladies as well. Since it's a bachelor night, ladies can come to make it a little bit fun. We'll be having snacks, and a lot of activities will be going on, which you can actually put all here, but we'll put the little we can put. And anybody that is in for surprises will come to the party and be wowed. So these are my activities that I've selected. I'm going to reduce the gap or space in between them. I'll make the text smaller. So I'm reducing the gap or the spacing between the text. You can input your value. If you think dragging doesn't work for you, you input your value to get what you want, or you can use your mouse to actually drag beside the spacing or gap in which you are trying to get. So I had to reduce the size of my side attraction as well. So next I have my music by. I decided to use the Jebala blue. You know, I told you guys this is gonna be a frictional design, or it's a frictional design. So I don't have any DJ in particular, a DJ in mind. So I decided to go for a fictional DJ as well, which is the Jebala blue. Then next is my hype man, and my hype man also is a fictional hype man, which I went for hype man obedience. I know some of you will be thinking Bala blue and obedience during the election, right? Well, that's what came to my mind, and I decided to use it. Bala blue and obedience. So I want to change the color of my hype man so that it will be different from the obedience. Then I want to change the color of my music by so that it will be different with DJ Bala blue. So I'm using the color picker to pick from my smoothie the color I would like to use for the text. This is my color picker I'm using right now to pick the color. I'm okay with that. I'm also changing the color of the side attraction. So I go to my layer, I go to the move tool, I select my side attraction. Remember, I told you to hold Control while you want to click on more than 2 layers. So I clicked on all the side attractions, then aligned them to the left. I aligned them to the left, then I gave them the same spacing. After doing that, I grouped them. Ctrl G to group. After selecting all the layers, you hold Ctrl G to group them together. As you can see, they are all in a layer, so I move them to the position I want them to be. So back to my address or the location, I moved it down a little bit to be in line with the smaller address. So now what I'm trying to do here is just something fancy, just to differentiate between the duration and the location or the address. So I decided to use T, but T was not giving me what I wanted, so I went for slash. So this is me pressing slash multiple times, pressing, slash, 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 slash. How fast can you say slash? Like how many times? Slash, 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 slash. So pressing slash for a very long time, it's going to like waste my time. So I reduced the size of the slash to an eye-catchy one. So then what I did was I copied part of the slash, I copied it, then copied, then I pasted in front of the slash. That's it. I clicked OK. So back to my layer. Actually, the design is not yet 100%, but it's coming together. As you can see, it's all coming together. Back to my layer again. Selected my background because I wanted to have something a little bit darker for the background so that my texts are going to show very well. So I selected my background, I changed the blend mode, then I reduced the opacity so that it won't be too harsh, it won't be too dark. So if you want to do that, you can actually go with the numbers of my opacity. As you can see, the percent and the blend mode I used. So I grouped all my backgrounds and I named it BG, which is background actually. So by grouping your work, it makes it more neat and more arranged. So I select my abrasion, I selected my smoothie, selected my bachelor, then I aligned them to the left, so they are arranged to the left. This makes your work your work neat and arranged. So I named it smoothie. I named my group smoothie. My smoothie, my abrasion and bachelor, I grouped them together and named it smoothie. Then the information at the top, Odogu Sweets and presents or presents. I grouped them together as well, aligned them. I group and then rename so that I'll know which folder is which. So here I have my location. I aligned them so that they will be arranged in the middle, like aligned together in the middle. So I grouped my location as well and renamed it. My location or my address is still the same thing. I renamed my site attraction as well. That's the group. So I actually realized that my site attraction is not where I want it to be. So I clicked on the folder, which you can see, then moved it to where I want it to be. And then my dates and my time and the rectangle, I grouped them together. And then I hold Control while I move it to the specific location where I want it to be. The specific place I want it to be, which is beside the O of the smoothie. As you can see, my smoothie is above my time and date. That's the folder. So this is my location. I'm trying to take it a little bit higher. Then I brought my Adobe suite down so that it won't be far from the main body, so that everything will look together, will look aligned. So I placed my location and my side attraction into the same folder of my smoothie, so that when I'm aligning, it won't scatter or go to a different place I don't want it to be. So I select the various folders I have. I click on my background as well, then I align it to the middle. Remember to hold Control while you're clicking more than one folder so that everything will click together. So we are getting to the final stage of the design. So I'm trying to see if there is anything that needs to be taken care of. So as you can see, my present is a little bit light. I'm using white, so it's not giving. It's blending with the lightness of my background. So I had to change it to a darker color so that the present will show. So Ctrl 0 to go back to full screen. Then finally, I want to place another, let me say a background, or yes, a background, or let me say something to make the design a little bit different. So this is what I came up with. Control and minus to shrink down your screen to see, or your design. Then I increase the size of the image so that I'll have the lights in the middle. Then I change the blend mode. You can actually play around with the blend mode to get what you want, but just make sure what you choose it's presenting, or it's presentable. So this is it. This is what I chose. Decided to reduce the opacity, play around with the opacity to get a cleaner and more eye-catchy look. Thank you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.